Good evening and welcome, and thank you for joining us this evening at our Year 7 Parents Evening information event. And we're delighted to be able to communicate with you guys, although we're very disappointed and sorry that it can't be in person due to the current situation. However, we do think this is a great opportunity for us to communicate some key messages and to introduce you, of course, later on in the event to your child's tutor. So the order of events will be myself talking to you guys. My name is Mr. Garvey. I'm the Director of Raising Standards in the lower school, and I'm going to talk to you about teaching and learning and behaviour quite briefly. Then I will talk to you about pride, values which underpin everything we do in the school. And then I'm going to talk to you about some opportunities that obviously exist for your children within the school. After that, we will hand over to Miss Johnson, the head of Year 7, and she will talk to you about a range of really key bits of information, including pastoral care and reading and so on and so forth. We just want to flag up that this is kind of a new world that we're all living in terms of conducting meetings like this. So we'll do our best. We may not have an enormous amount of time to answer any questions tonight, unfortunately, but please, the last slide provides contact details for lots of the key individuals in the building that work with Year 7 students. So please feel free in contacting us if you've got any questions at all regarding the presentation, and generally going forward, please do communicate with us in regards to the progress of your children. Okay, so let me start by talking about the teaching and learning that's taking place. Within the school, we have a John Roan lesson, a standardised lesson, which has 4 phases. A review phase, so every lesson typically will begin with a review phase. So students are reviewing the learning that's taken place in previous lessons and within the scheme of work. An activate phase, phase 2, where children are introduced to new material and there's some really active learning taking place. And then the demonstrate phase, where students are able to perhaps practice some of the skills they've learned, perhaps if it's a creative subject, perform at this stage of the lesson, maybe write an essay or an exam question and demonstrate the skills that they've learned from the activate phase. And finally, the 4th stage of the John Roan lesson is the consolidation phase, or the plenary phase as it's often referred to, where children are reflecting on their learning, teachers and students are reflecting on the progress that's taken place within that lesson. And that should kind of be really formative, hopefully. So just to advise you guys that this is really the expectation in every single classroom. We have 4 phases of a John Roan lesson, and we're expecting there to be lots of progress in every lesson, every day. Believe in disruption-free learning. We believe that the environment that children are learning in is really fundamental towards the success of the lesson, and we believe it's very, very important in terms of sort of respect and social learning that we have really good order and really good routines in lessons. So you may be aware that we have these 3 stages in terms of our sort of sanction process, if you will. Children initially will be warned, their seat will be moved, so that we sort of interrupt the dynamics at that stage, and an attempt to sort of intervene and give a student a fresh start in a new location in the classroom. The students, after moving, will be very clear that this is stage 2, it's now very, very serious. And then the 3rd phase is removal. So we believe that every student in this school deserves to be in a disruption-free learning environment. So if a student is removed, it's not something we've taken sort of lightly. We follow the behaviour policy, and we only remove when we sort of know that there's been a really serious breach in terms of behaviour and learning. And in those rare, very rare instances, I will say, particularly in Year 7, in those rare instances, we will be in contact with you guys immediately and there's a range of sort of processes that kick in, which will also involve a sort of reconciliation process between the teacher and the student, which I think is incredibly important actually. So just to give you guys a bit of an overview, as I mentioned a moment ago, we have a structure for our lessons that gives us that sort of consistency, we hope, across the building and across different departments. And we have a very firm but fair behaviour policy, which I've just given you a little bit of an insight to. I want to talk to you about pride because our pride values underpin everything we do here at the school, and the children will be very aware of this language. We talk about the pride values in the corridors and the playgrounds and in lessons. What we do is we ultimately attribute the students with a pride score, and this is made up of a score attributed to them due to their attendance to school, their punctuality, and their attitude to learning within each lesson. And what we've recognised, and this might not be very surprising, but what we've recognised is those students that have very high pride scores, so 7 and 8 and a 9, the scores that we aspire for all of our students to be gaining, those students will be those that get on and succeed best when it comes to the end of the education process. So that's very, very important to us. We talk to the children about pride every day, and we have very, very high expectations. As the slide says here at the bottom, every day counts. Actually, every lesson counts when we talk about really, really good quality teaching and learning. I wanted to communicate with people in regards to homework. As of today, I believe all students have been able to access Show My Homework. We have had some glitches with the technology. We've ironed those out. We should be in a really, really good position. My wish and my hope, and I'm sort of reaching out to parents here to say, can we work together in partnership to instill the really, really high expectations that we're sort of trying to communicate to the children here in school for completing homework. Homework is very, very important, and the children understand from us that we expect really good independent learning because we know how important it is. Again, it's a new system, so we've given children some leniency here at the beginning of the year, and as I mentioned, there have been a few teething problems, but they have been ironed out now. And we would expect that the children are completing every piece of homework that is set for them, and to a very, very high standard. As of next week, we will be running our homework club, our support sessions, actually every day bar Friday. So after school, students can sit with either myself, the head of year, other key members of staff, and they can get some support here on site in the computer rooms. Okay, we think that's very important. We want to remove any sort of barriers that may exist. And if your child is feeling anxious about homework and expectations and messages that they're receiving in regards to homework, please direct them to our study club. We're here to help them first and foremost, and we appreciate that these are new systems for them. But at the same time, the expectation is that all students at the John Roan School complete the homework that is set for them. Okay. On this slide, you'll also see a logo for Seneca. Seneca is an online platform for learning. Students can learn all subjects, so we've got materials for geography, for history, for English lessons. Teachers will be directing students from time to time to Seneca, and there'll be a little bit more information coming in regards to this platform. But it'd be fantastic if students started very, very soon with your support, playing around with the software, which I think will be really, really useful for them. It is also quite advisable for parents to download the Show My Homework app, because you can monitor the success of your children in terms of completing homework tasks. You can also monitor the quality of the homework that's been set by teachers, and you can communicate with Miss Johnson and myself where you have any queries in regards to homework that's being set. But just to reiterate, our expectations are extremely high. Children are expected to complete homework and unfortunately there will be sanctions set for children that do not. Okay. Having said that, we're an inclusive school and we're here to support children. So if they're concerned, they can come and communicate with us, and we will support them to the best of our ability. As mentioned, the Homework Club is operational as of next week. So please do direct your children to come and learn with us. We can support them here, and any IT issues can also be resolved at this time. It's a real shame that we've not been operating as many sort of after school clubs as we usually would have. I think that's a result of the situation that we're in and the climate that we're in. However, we've started our basketball, there's football coming next week. There's some really exciting conversations taking place in regards to rugby club, which fingers crossed will start extremely soon. There's school council. I think we'll be discussing a little bit more in a moment, but that gets up and running as of next week. And there's music lessons, and we're doing as much as we can. The current restrictions and in regards to our risk assessments, etc. But I've sort of tried to communicate to the children that as soon as it's safe, we will be fully operational and directing them to as many opportunities as we possibly can. Currently, I've been speaking to the children every day. I'm very satisfied that the year group are happy, they're enriched, and that they're getting opportunities. I would just like them to be getting a lot more, and we are working on that. Okay. It is just some 4 pictures for you, just to have a little look at the building. We would have loved to have obviously shown you around today or this evening, but you can see the Mates Hill building here on the left, our steps at Westcombe Park, the inside of a drama studio there, and our magnificent sports hall. I think at this early stage in the academic year, I would reflect and say that the Year 7 cohort are compliant, very well behaved, happy. They're certainly very well supported and cared for by their head of year, who's extremely diligent and caring, and also their form tutors, who I know you'll have the opportunity to communicate with shortly. Any issues that we've picked up, we've tried to sort of investigate immediately, but generally speaking, it's been, despite the difficulties that we've experienced with the coronavirus, it's been a very smooth start to the year for the vast majority of children. I'll just reiterate that message. If there are concerns, please do reach out to us. We're a very supportive, inclusive school, and we'll communicate with you guys straight back, and we'll do everything we can to make sure that all of the children under our care are very happy and they're learning as much as they possibly can. In a moment, I've got the opportunity to introduce you to Miss Johnson. She's the new head of Year 7. She has a fantastic relationship with the children already, so I'm very excited about the year ahead and everything that this year group in particular will achieve, because I think it's quite an exciting time. So thank you for your time. Ms Johnson will speak to you guys, and then we'll conclude the meeting and we'll give you an opportunity to log off and access the individual tutor meetings. Okay, so thank you very much for your time.
Hi, good evening. For those of you who I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with or meeting yet, my name is Ms Johnson and I am the current head of Year 7. I echo Mr Garvey's sentiment. I'm so disappointed that we couldn't do this meeting in person, but I'm so thrilled that there are so many of you who have taken the time this evening to join us virtually, and even more thrilled that you're going to have the opportunity to meet tutors virtually next. So what I wanted to talk about firstly was pastoral care, and what my key priorities as head of year are. When I was thinking about it, I think what I would really want from our Year 7s is that they feel happy, that they feel safe, and that they feel involved. Of course, I want them to be able to reach and fulfill and exceed their potential, but really if they're not happy and if they don't feel safe and if they're not kind of feeling involved in this genre and community or feeling like they fit in, then that academic success isn't going to come. So what we really want to make sure is that when we are talking about pastoral care, especially here at the John Rennie School, is that we're talking about a pastoral care system that is centered around the whole child. So that we are looking out emotionally, socially, academically, and that we are developing their character as a whole as well. I wanted to talk about the little bits of support that we have that kind of touch on all of those really key aspects of, I think, well-being in school. In terms of emotional support, many of you will be aware that we do have our Pride Room, which is an excellent resource for our students emotionally. We have some really talented and expert staff who are able to support students if they are having a little bit of an emotional crisis, whether that be something that's happened at home, whether that be friendship groups in school, whether that be them feeling stressed out or overwhelmed, really anything. That Pride Room is a really great resource for us to have that time out space for students to be able to regroup. And of course, the goal is always to get them settled, to get them calm, to get them refreshed, and then to get them back into their lessons where they're learning. So that, I think, is a really special part of what we have to offer, and something really incredible that our students are able to benefit from. In terms of the social side, I know that Mr. Garvey spoke already tonight about all the incredible opportunities, whether that be music lessons, whether that be the sports clubs that we offer, whether that be library club or the homework club. We offer a plethora of social activities, some that I'm going to discuss a little bit further, but I also think that team building and that social aspect of school is incredibly important and something that we want to make sure that is as rich as possible for our Year 7s. In terms of academic, again, Mr. Garvey will have touched on some of this, but this early intervention, making sure that we have that homework club for students, that we are monitoring them and identifying any barriers early so that we are able to support students and support families in getting past that, because we do want their academic success obviously to be top priority and top of mind, and so we're really keen to support them, whether that be getting them the digital skills they need, whether that is the support in lesson, whether that is referring them to the SLC if they need that extra bit of support, that extra bit of academic guidance. But our aim really is to support them in whatever way works best for them and whatever way is going to yield the most success for them, because that's really what it's all about. I'm going to speak about character on our next slide here. We have, bear with me, our Pride Passport. A number of you probably will have seen students coming home already showing you all the stickers in their passport. They probably guard that passport and protect it better than their real passport, but we're really thrilled with the Pride Passport initiative because, like Mr. Garvey said, our students are incredibly compliant, and not only that, they are going above and beyond right now, our Year 7s, to really show us their Pride values, to show us that they are proud, that they're respectful, that they're involved, that they're determined, that they're excellent. And we are really keen to celebrate that and reward that, because we think those values are incredibly important in developing a well-rounded human who is going to leave us one day ready and prepared for that real world. So as it stands right now, if they get a sticker in their books that equates to a point on our system, and myself and Mr. Garvey monitor and track that, and periodically there are rewards for the students who are going above and beyond to really show us that they can demonstrate those really important Pride values. So that's part of that character education that we think is incredibly important in developing our young people. If I go back to that previous slide, something that we've launched this year, which we're really proud of, is our whole school reading program. And the aim is to enrich and broaden your child's education through the power of reading, because as we know, there are so many benefits that come with reading and reading for pleasure, whether that be expanding vocabulary, whether that be improving their focus and attention, kind of in this digital world where everything is instant or a click away, really helping them improve that focus and that concentration, helping them inspire creativity, and really actually the more that you read, the better you write. And I don't know if any of you have older students, you know that writing is an incredibly important part of their schooling later for their English GCSEs. It helps to broaden their understanding and really improves conversations. So that's something that we are really promoting this year with our Year 7s, and hope that you can encourage that at home as well. Our librarian has been fantastic in that she comes around. She's doing a bit of a virtual library, so she brings a book cart to our tutor group so that they can still have that opportunity to select books while they might not be able to visit the library in itself. So again, something that we feel is really building on that pastoral care that we provide. If I skip past this slide because we've seen it already. Something really excited that's coming up for us is school council, and I know our students are thrilled to be able to be a part of it, to have their voice heard, to contribute and to feel like they've made some really great change. So that's coming up just after the half term, I think it looks like, some of the things that we'll be working on. We're going to be focusing on, for that first bit of student council, with Black Lives Matter, what our school does well with in regard to diversity and inclusion, how our school can be more diverse in teaching it in its general environment, and really giving our students the opportunity to have their voices heard, because we think that's really important, especially in developing them to be able to speak out. In a similar vein, we have Debate Mate, which I am so excited about. That's launching very shortly as well in November, and it's a great opportunity for our students to get involved and to learn how to, again, have those skills. That debate setting inspires creativity, teamwork, confidence, leadership, and is overall just something that's really important. And I think as many students as we can get involved would be fantastic. I think that we are coming to the end of our time here, and I'm very conscious of the fact that you all still have meetings that you need to go to with your tutors. I think on the next slide here we have our contact details. If there is anyone who isn't sure what the link is for their tutor group, or if they're not sure which tutor group their child is in, please don't hesitate to email myself or Mr. Garvey so that we can get that correct link for you, so that you are able to join your tutor's event. I do have here for you our tutors' email addresses, so if you were ever in need of getting in contact with them, we have that there for you to note down. I'm going to pass over to Mr. Garvey perhaps for our final words.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson, and thank you all for joining us this evening. It's been quite a short meeting but full of information. This has been a recorded event, so you will be able to watch the meeting back again if there's any information that you might have missed, or if you know of friends that have missed our meeting this evening. And please, again, on this final slide, please do use these contact details, because as I mentioned, we're really keen to improve the way we engage with parents and be really open and really highly communicative, because we're all on the same team here. We all want the best for the children that are in our care, and I'd like to think we're very approachable. Ms. Johnson's nodding, so do get in touch with us, and we do look forward to meeting you in the school building, hopefully in the not too distant future. I think we're both quite clear that it's been a very positive start to the year, so please do congratulate your children as well, because it's not easy starting a new school and there's just so many changes to get your heads around. But what I see now when I walk around the building is students are happy, they feel safe, they feel secure in their learning. There's lots of very nice friendship groups forming that we see, and I see lessons that are involving children that are highly engaged, really active in their learning, and behaviour is excellent actually. So we've got things to improve upon. Of course we have, we always will have, but we're more than happy to communicate with our parents, because we value the feedback, we value the support that we receive. Okay, thank you very much for your time. Now's probably perfect. We seem to be perfectly on time, Miss. We haven't done too bad a job today. We're perfectly on time for you guys to sort of end this meeting, log off, and then fingers crossed you should be able to access a meeting with your specific tutor, the specific tutor of your child. Again, if there's any technical issues, because this is a new era for all of us, just end the meeting, drop Ms. Johnson or myself an email, and we'll fire you the link that you need as quick as we can. Thank you very much for your time, much appreciated.